Follows. Alright, so it's completely no-name actors and directors, but It Follows is a horror movie about a ghost that's an STD. Now, I don't usually watch horror movies because horror movies always suck. So there's this ghost that's an STD. So it's invisible to everyone except the last people along the line. So if someone has the curse, they have sex with someone, and then they pass the curse along. Now the last person can still see the ghost, and if it kills the person they just had sex with, it'll come back for them, and then it'll go up the line. Which leads to the best moral ever: don't have sex out of wedlock. So this really hot girl has sex with a guy in the beginning, and then she gets the ghost. She's like, oh, this is terrible. The guy who gives it to her is actually pretty nice about it too. He like keeps her behind and like informs her about how to deal with the ghost, sort of. And this guy comes back later for a really, really funny moment. Our friends are pretty helpful in this movie. I mean, they don't like really believe her at first, but they're just sticking with her because, you know, in the horror movies it's always like, you're crazy, you don't believe it. It's like, your loved one is clearly distressed and like terrified. It's like, you have a responsibility to do something about that, even if they are crazy. Because demons and stuff like this is actually, like, as a Catholic, like, this is real. Like, demons actually exist in our world. But you should always be open to the possibility that you might be crazy. And you'd rather you'd be crazy, right? Because everyone's like, I know what I saw. Well, no, you didn't. Because you know what you think you saw. Like, wouldn't you rather be hallucinating? Because then it means it's not real. Then it's not trying to kill you. The beginning of this movie and the end of this movie are probably the scariest parts. Because the beginning opens up, you're like, you're not sure what's happening at first, there's some confusing things, and then it's like, whoa! So, now, as loyal as her friends might be, they all make some pretty stupid decisions. I mean, it's not quite as bad as, like, your standard home invasion decisions, but it's like, she could have her friends stand in the doorway so the ghost has to move past them to get to her. Because it can't go through, like, walls or anything. Like, it breaks windows and stuff to get it, and the people can hear that. So, like, even if you can't see it, it's like, they're still helpful. But no, she just runs away, and I get it, she's scared, but like, come on. And there's another part where the ghost is really slow. It's like the Walking Dead Telltale zombie game. It's like those zombies walk really slowly. All you have to do is break into a light jog, and then you win. And then her boyfriend is like, you can drive to buy yourself some time, but it's always gonna come for you. And it's like, why don't you just move to like the other half of the United States? Like Book of Eli, it took Denzel Washington 30 years to walk from one half of the United States to the other. I mean, he's a special case for undisclosed reasons. Book of Eli is amazing. Go see Book of Eli. If you're in a car, why drive away? She's like getting in a car, and I'm like, you're in a car. Just run it over. Hit it. Run it over. Try to kill. They have a plan later that's like eye-rollingly bad. Like, there's no way that's gonna work, but at least they're trying something. Because at a point in the movie, they just kind of move from location to location, and her friends are like just, it's like, they're all like on their phones or just sitting there. It's like, you know, you guys can talk or play charades or something. You don't have to sit there quietly. Boring. And that may seem like it slows down the movie a little too, so it can bore the audience. You also don't back into a corner with this thing. Its disadvantage is its speed. It's like they're on this wide open beach and they choose to go into a garage. It's like, what are you doing? Oh, just keep kiting around it. If you've ever played StarCraft, if you've got Marines and there are banelings coming at you, you gotta kite around with the Marines. It's like, shoot, run, shoot, run, shoot, run. You don't just back into a corner, the things will eat you alive. I'm not nearly as upset as I might sound. I'm just pointing out issues I have with the movie. This is actually a pretty good movie. The girl's like, her acting is good. Her decisions may not be Harvard status, but her acting is pretty good. And her friends with the movie are like, well, why don't you, you know, pass it on? It's like, that's the thing she can do. She can have sex with somebody, and then the monster ghost will go after them. But if that were me, I'd be like, no, I'm gonna bear this curse. I'm not gonna put other lives at risk. I'm gonna learn how to fight this ghost, and living with it is gonna be my profession. Be like Bruce Campbell in Evil Dead with a shotgun and a chainsaw and everything, like, groovy. There's not too many jump scares in the movie, which is good. The music's really good in this movie. It's like this electronic-y, new age type music. It adds to the feel of like this retro 90s movie. A couple other aspects of the movie kind of pull from old movies as well. The ending, when you see it, at first you're like, what? Come on. But then you realize, like, no, it works for what it is. Because it's not, at first it seems like it's one of those endings that tries to imply what happens or leave it open-ended, and it just comes off as lazy. It's like, just show that or make up your minds. Like, they couldn't write an ending to the movie. Then you remember a different part of the movie, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I know, so it works. There's a lot of nudity in this movie, which is interesting because it's like, most of the time it's the monster, I don't know why I keep calling it the monster. It's a human. One time it's like, it's really big giant human. That guy was scary. The it is usually like in some form of undress or just completely naked, and it's like, why? it seems weird. It's like, if it was trying to, like, tempt them sexually, that would make sense, but it's not. It's trying to kill them. What's also interesting is that all the sex scenes in the movie are pretty tame as far as sex scenes goes. No nudity in those. It's sending a mixed message. But yeah, this was scary enough. I mean, I don't watch a lot of horror movies. Again, like, I'm tired of them. I'm just happy that it's a different movie. Because really, 2015 hasn't been the greatest so far. So It Follows is a 7. It's unique, you know, it's kind of different. The music's really good. Some of the decisions don't make a lot of sense. But it's a solid horror movie. If anything, it'll hold you over till Avengers comes out. Because that's what we're all waiting for anyway. It was either this or that home DreamWorks movie. And that didn't look all that great. Thank you for watching. I'm Wesley Tomsky. Like, subscribe, and share. The third one's actually the most important. And I'll have a lot more videos coming out. I'll see you next week and stuff. Bye!